Hello, is this thing on? Oh, it's so funny. This one light is flickering, but I've got enough lights. I don't think it's going to be a problem. So I'll give people a minute to find the live. I'll change it from top chat to live chat. Um, I was able to find the videos last night that I couldn't find during my live. Oh, there it comes back on. So that's like a purple light, which is now off. I usually have that purple light on. I don't know if it's just like on fritzing out and I need to get a new one. It's one of my oldest ones that I've had the whole 3.5 years that I've been doing this. So let's see. What do I want to talk about tonight? I want to talk about the color blue, because not just in my set, but when our president wears blue ties, or say when he, hold on, I need to take my rubber band out. Sorry. I leave it in all day like I'm supposed to, but I take it out to make it a little easier when I'm talking. Okay. I'm supposed to wear it 24/7. And I do pretty well with it. But anyway, it does make it really hard to talk. Okay. What was I saying? The color blue. The reflection pond. I haven't heard anybody else say this, but I see that wanting to paint the bottom of the reflection pond blue as a nod towards the country that starts with the letter I, that we wish wasn't as real in the way that it is. And BB. So typically the Trumpster Fire wears his bright red tie, but he's been opting for the blue quite a bit lately. So let me do all of my regular stuff as I'm waiting for people to come in still. Hit your like button if you don't mind. Make sure, where's my little subscribe thing? Oh my God, I don't know where it is. I've been rearranging, of course. I've been really pulling this space together. So I think I have it memorized. Make sure you're still subscribed if you are subscribed. And if you're not, please consider doing so. It helps the channel out a great deal. Oh, I've got the tiniest one in the world. Let's see if you can even see it. And then that other one will show up. Oh, I think it's right probably over. Yeah, there it is. Can I get it without knocking anything down? And I don't have my ergonomic chair tonight. I have like a regular one, just because I want to mix it up so I can like switch it in and out. Make sure you're still subscribed. Share a video of mine with somebody that you think would like my channel. Turn on your notification bell to ring. Does this one even show up? It's so tiny. Da-dun-da-da. Subscribe, share, notification. But there's no thumb on it because it'd have to be so small. But that would be fun to draw a little tiny thumb. But I like to try to do it exactly the way it is on, the tube. Hello, Annabees. How are you tonight? Let me smooth out my wax while I give you a second to answer, if you want to answer. Lovely to see you, my darling. And let's see. So I wanted to talk about the color blue. I wanted to keep it real and just talk about what a prick this guy is. He's so disrespectful towards women everywhere. Black women, even more so. I always forget her name. She's such an amazing, it's not Lindsay, Rachel Scott. She's such an amazing investigative journalist. And she was one that he ripped into when she was asking him questions about, like, doing the beautification of the blue at the bottom of the reflection pond and stuff like that. And I think her question was something like, what about the war, basically? And he was just like, you're a little bitch, you dumb broad. I mean, he went off. We've all seen him do that before, but he's just making himself look bad. As my mama used to say, showing his ass, right? Doing good. How are you, darling? Rachel is so good. Oh my God, she's so pretty. She's so professional. I love her. She's one of my favorites. But yeah, he really takes a lot of extra liberty and leeway with women that aren't white. I've noticed. I'm sure you've noticed that too, Annabise. So yeah, I texted you those videos that I was having trouble finding last night, and I was so happy that I could find them. And I definitely want to play the one that's by the public relations expert. And then what was the other one? The other one was the Jimmy Fallon, and that might be a nice light note to start with. He's so funny. I mean, I don't bring him up a lot because my priority of the funny news is Jon Stewart, Jimmy Kimmel, Seth Meyers, Jimmy Fallon. There's my purple light. Nope, it's off again. And there's another one. Jon Stewart, Jimmy Fallon, Seth Meyers. Well, and then this guy, Sammy Obadiah, or however you say his name, he is tearing it up. I love Jimmy Fallon. I know. And especially he's got quite the knack for the funny songs. He's just adorable. I've always had a crush on him. Man, I might need to turn off the strobe light because now it's like strobing. You can see that, can't you? Yeah, that's bad. 1 second. I'll just unplug it or turn it upside down or something. I think my purple light has died. But like I said, I've been using it for over 3 years. So, oh, I unplugged it. I turned it over and it's still doing it. Hold on. Oh, maybe it's fixing itself now. Now it wants to work. Okay. So yeah, I was starting to say that I've always had a crush on Jon Stewart too. I mean, when he was younger, he was a mighty fine looking guy, but he's just got the greatest delivery in the world. So, you know, he's not aging that well, and he makes a lot of great jokes about it. But I still have a very special place in my heart for Jon Stewart, and he is one that I got to meet in person and got to talk with, and that was fun. Your background looks so good. Jon Stewart is the best. He is. I mean, he's a pro. He kind of really started the whole like trend of the funny news. Oh, Stephen Colbert. That's another one of my top priorities. So I think Daily Show, Jon Stewart, Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, they're like neck and neck. And then Seth Meyers and Jimmy Fallon. I'd have to rank them in that order, although I hate ranking them because they're all so awesome. And then I love Conan O'Brien, who I don't get to watch very often. And like I keep saying, that guy, Sammy Obadiah, he's a smart man. I think he is a professor, a teacher. I think he's taught college and maybe high school. I think he's taught math and public speaking. But I need to learn more about him. He's fascinating. He's really, really sharp. I agree with you on the ranking. Oh, that's so cute, Annabise. Of course you do, because you and I are twins. Huh. Thanks for the compliment on the background. Yeah, I have been really loving it. And just, like I said, the other day, I almost gave up and just thought, you know, I should just have the backdrop and just call it good. But you know how much I love my little Statue of Liberty, my A to Z, my hedgehog that I finally reunited with. It's a different one than my old one. I still don't know what happened to my old one. My mouse, my pumpkin, all this stuff. I love these pillars, these mini pillars. They're like bookends, and they're just like one of my favorite things. I'm such a goofball. And then I've got the little skylight cityscape thing here. I don't even know what that's supposed to be. A candle holder, I guess. And then this one is supposed to be a candle holder too. And it kind of looks like windows if I get it at the right angle. There we go. And then my new shadow box that I keep finding like film to put over it so that it gives it different colors because it's way too bright without the film. And it was hard to find that stuff. Cellophane. It was so hard to find the cellophane. I don't know why. I guess I just wasn't looking in the right places. And then this thing that is just this really cool, like resin, plastic, weird, beautiful thing with a tiny light in it. I love that. And I got my little bonsai tree over here. And the silly fabric flowers. I got a few of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's one back there. And then a plant. And then a Frank Lloyd Wright architecture picture that you can't really see. But it's got a bunch of like a rock garden too. So you can kind of see the rock garden and then you can see the sky. But the building back there is Frank Lloyd Wright. It's a photograph. So there's my tour. And I've got my rainbow lights. The one on this side usually doesn't work, but it's working tonight. The one on the other side usually works, but it's not working tonight. But anyway, enough about all that. Let's get into that Jimmy Fallon stuff. So when they decided that they were done with the Epic Fury because it had been 60 days and they weren't doing what they were supposed to do to get the proper authorization from Congress, they were like, okay, well, that doesn't matter because we're done. We're not doing Epic Fury anymore. We're moving on to bigger and better things, Project Freedom. And so let me play for you the super goofy skit that Fallon did on that. Project Freedom. Coming up with the name. It's so funny. And so I put the link in the description to last night's video. And to cue it up, I think it's like the 1 minute.
Sorry to interrupt.
Sorry.
But this is important.
1 minute, 15 second mark. So they're trying to come up with the name. And it's so funny. The name for the new war. Oh, it just took me to the channel. Not the, there we go. To the skit. Okay. Get it queued up to 1 minute, 15 seconds in, and there we go. Stop. So it's Stephen Miller in the Oval Office talking with the Donald. Stephen Miller, man, what a monster he is. What an absolute monster, huh? Did I tell you guys my sister went to the same high school as him? Santa Monica High School in Southern California. I would have gone to that high school had I not moved to Ohio. But yeah, she and I were talking about it today and wondering if Santa Monica High School could maybe like have his enrollment there annulled.
Of Trump and his staff talking about it in the Oval Office. Watch this.
Sir, Operation Epic Fury is a bust. We need a rebrand. Any name ideas?
Operation Epic Fury 2?
No.
Operation Junior?
No.
Operation The Way of Water?
No.
Operation The Squeakquel?
No.
I know what you did last operation?
No.
I still know what you did last operation?
No.
Operation and the Prisoner of Azkaban?
No.
Operation Episode 1, The Phantom Menace?
No.
Operation Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me?
No.
Harold and Kumar Go to Operation Castle?
No.
Operation Desert Storm?
Take it.
Operation The Board Game?
Take it.
Operation Fireball?
Did you say fireball?
Not the drink. Operation Shots Fired? Did you say shots? Not the drink. I give up. This is totally useless.
You call us dead?
No. Just name it something stupid like Project Freedom.
That's pretty good.
Yay!
That's it.
Too funny. So something that I haven't talked about, and again, I don't know that people really talk about it. Like we all think about it, but the sneer that Pete Hegseth usually has like painted on his face. Does he think he's Billy Idol or something? I am not kidding you. Doesn't it remind you of the Billy Idol sneer? Just like, it's so gross. And he's just so damn smug. All these mofos are so damn smug. Donnie, little E, whether he's alive or not, smug mofo, JD, even Patel, like CASHAPP, smug as fuck. And then, then we have people like Tom Holman or Tulsi Gabbard. I mean, Blondie Bondi and Christy Nome, those bitches were smug mofos. Just so flagrant. It's just bizarre to see such juvenile behavior in our administration, in our freaking government. Really arrested development. And so I want to break down that 20-minute video with that channel. What is the name of her channel? She's so good. I don't know if you had a chance to watch that video, Anna Bees, the PR lady. Let's see. PR lady, where are you?
You apply castor oil consistently.
Stop with your dumb ads. And I'll get caught up on your stuff there too. I just want to look at her name real quick. Molly McPherson, the deflection trap. So I'm got it queued up. We're going to play that, but let me stay caught up with you. Yeah, Rachel Scott, she is the bomb, and Jimmy's the bomb. Jon Stewart's the bomb. You're the bomb. I haven't seen Sammy O, not even attempting to spell his last name. Yeah, I think it's like Obeid. The man is sharp as a tack. I love his delivery. And he's just like on top of the new material, just doing stand-up. He's just touring. So he videotapes his stand-up and then puts them all online. He's doing pretty well for himself, I think. I wish I knew where he lived. Like, I want to say he lives in Hawaii, but I'm not sure. I'm going to have to do some research on him. He's fascinating me. They're all monsters. Going out and back in. See you in a second. I watched part of it. Okay. So here, let's go ahead and play it. And check her channel out.
The weekend before last, a man tried to kill the president.
Okay. So she's talking about that. But let me just say really quick, my disclaimer, everything I say is simply my opinion for the sake of hoping to start a conversation, open up a discussion, learn something, be educational. And all of my videos are made for the tube of you, and it's an infotainment platform. So here is the PR breakdown, is the name of Molly McPherson's channel. And she is a sharp woman. I want to do research on her too. So she's a public relations expert, and she's got like this formula. So check her out. We'll maybe go through the whole video. I don't think she'll mind.
Of the United States. By the next evening, Trump sat down with Norah O'Donnell on 60 Minutes. When she quoted from the alleged shooter's manifesto, he snapped.
Okay, it's just a pod, so there's no visual. I mean, there's a visual of her beautiful face, just black and white, and there's the arrow over her nose, so it kind of looks like a clown nose or something. Anyway.
The so-called manifesto is a stunning thing to read, Mr. President. He appears to reference a motive in it. He writes this quote, administration officials, they are targets. And he also wrote this, I am no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people. Horrible people.
He knew.
So she has this cute music thing going, very upbeat. It's so bizarre too, the way he says horrible, almost like it's an A instead of an O. Horrible people. Do I need a hat, or I think I'm okay without one? Tell me if I need a hat, Ann Bees.
She would. The word knew. He was ready for it. That is not a coincidence. That is a trap. And once you see how it works, you will not be able to stop seeing it. Hey there, welcome back to the PR Breakdown. I'm your host, Molly McPherson. This week, we're doing something a little bit different. I am going back to my crisis doctrine. Put on your analytical, theoretical hats.
You don't have to do that tonight.
It needs to be done before she arrives.
I've mentioned this on my Substack Lives recently that I am spending the next few months writing my crisis doctrine. Not creating it, but writing it. Taking the work that I'm doing and putting it to paper so I can refer back to it and categorize it, not only for myself to make it easier to follow and so I can help my clients, but to help you and everyone else understand what the principles are in this doctrine, but also the traps. This week, I'm highlighting the deflection trap, what it is, why leaders fall into it, and the 4 distinct moves it contains. I also want to tell you how to spot it. Everywhere from a presidential interview to a town hall put on by your CEO.
I put Tic Tacs in my mouth, so now it's going to be even harder to talk. I thought I'd have them in my mouth while she's talking. Nicole Kessinger does a ton of deflection. From the Watts case, if you're not familiar. I know that you are, Annabise.
Perhaps even a conversation you had last week with your mother. I have been tracking the news around the White House Correspondents' Dinner all week. At the time of this recording, it had happened the weekend prior. I pulled the data, and I have 8,700 articles to back up what I'm about to tell you. By the end of this episode, you will have a new vocabulary, 4 name moves, and a single counter principle that breaks the trap every time. Let's get into it. Using my media database partner, Muckrack, I tracked across April 23rd to April 29th. Every major outlet, every angle, 8,706 articles in total. I sorted them into 2 frames. The first frame is what I call competence and control, coverage that focuses on what happened, how law enforcement responded, what the security review will recommend. The boring, accurate, accountability-driven version of events. The second frame is grievance, coverage that focuses on who is to blame, who is the victim, who is the enemy. Same week, same news. 2 different stories being told. Here's what I found. Grievance framing dominated coverage at 55.1%. Competence and control came in at 44.9%. Every major outlet, every grievance angle, every competence and control angle. 8,706 articles in total. And here's what I found. The grievance framing dominated coverage at 55.1%. Competence and control framing came in at 44.9%. That is a 10.2 point gap.
Sorry about that. I was going to skip the statistical stuff, but too late.
So in a week where a gunman breached the perimeter at the most publicized press event in Washington, competence frame is the story you would expect. Instead, we got the grievance. The grievance frame arrived 3 days later to replace the accountability frame. And that's not media bias. That is the deflection trap operating at industrial scale. Then I ran the word cloud on grievance coverage. You know what that looks like. It's all the words that come up in all of the articles. And here's where I tell you, you can head over to my Substack. I have a link in the show notes to read the article, The Deflection Trap, how leaders move the spotlight when they cannot afford to answer, and how to spot it in real time. There you will see all of the numbers and the visuals. So when you run the word cloud on grievance coverage, here's what was big. Ballroom, historic preservation, court filing, Justice Department, Donald Trump, international cooperation. And here and then, tucked up almost into a corner, almost like an afterthought, assassination attempt. A man tried to kill.
Crazy, huh? So just the sheer fact that mainstream media isn't giving that a ton of attention, it tells you what you need to know.
The president, and within a week, the press was writing about historic preservation and the ballroom. But here is the word that stopped me right next to Donald Trump's name: Jimmy Kimmel.
And of course, our First Lady Melania is here. Look at Melania, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow.
In a word cloud about a presidential assassination attempt, the name of a late night talk show host. Sitting rough.
And for anybody who didn't see it, the Donald made a joke himself a couple days later about how there was probably no way that him and Melania would make it to their 65th wedding anniversary, implying because he's on death's doorstep. He said it. So he said it about himself.
The same size as Iran, as Congress. So larger than attorney, larger than administration, larger than Border Patrol. Jimmy friggin' Kimmel. In the same week that there's an attempt on the president's life. Think back, if you are my age or older, Gen X, baby boomer or older, do you remember when there was an assassination attempt against Ronald Reagan? Same hotel.
So I was living in Malibu, California when that happened. I was in 9th grade, and he had his home in Pacific Palisades, but he also had a horse ranch right there in Malibu. So we all knew him. We all knew he was an actor. We all knew he was like a B-list John Wayne, and he was the governor, of course. It was astounding that he won that presidency in a landslide. 49 states. Minnesota was the only one he didn't win. And then I think it was within a year that John Hinckley took a go at him. And yeah, I remember the day that it happened. I remember I was in the girls' locker room when I first heard about it.
The news that dominated was an assassination attempt. We heard about Hinckley. We heard about Hinckley's obsession with Jodie Foster.
Mm-hmm.
But if we had a word cloud, Jodie Foster wouldn't even be in the word cloud. And if she would be in this tiny, tiny corner. But Jimmy Kimmel, prominent. Why? Because we have an administration, we have a president who deploys deflection whenever they can.
It is the master skill of the gaslighter, because the focus should be on the investigation into the assassination attempt. But instead, he's getting investigations into seashells. For real. He's getting investigations into stand-up comics. The investigation should be focused on the failures of the Secret Service, for instance. That's what you do when you have an incident. You have an investigation, a thorough investigation, and you don't come out making statements like it was a lone gunman within a few minutes, because you wait until you've had enough time to really cross-reference before you start saying definitive statements like that. Unless you're Donald Trump, of course. Here, let me skip this ad. Oh, that looks good. Smoky maple bacon. I love me some bacon. Okay.
And Jimmy Kimmel and his mock White House Correspondents' Dinner skit, and his joke about the soon-to-be widow Melania Trump, was glowing, Trump used that as a deflection. That's why it became such a big story. That's what a successful deflection looks like when deployed. The original story gets so thoroughly replaced that the comedian making jokes about the deflection ends up more newsworthy than the assassination itself.
And they do that because they don't want the assassination investigated, thoroughly scrutinized, because it was bullshit, in my opinion. It was a fake. So they're like, oh, look over there, right? Anna B says, it had already happened. I was in creative writing class. It had already happened, but the teacher brought in a TV for us to watch the coverage. They have to do an autopsy of the whole event. Exactly. Everything. The entire incident. And Kash Patel sitting there like he's not the head of the FBI, but he's just like Joe Blow hanging out in a ballroom.
This is the trap at scale. And again, once you see it, you cannot stop seeing it, which is what we are going to do for the rest of this episode. Let's start naming the trap clearly. Deflection moves the spotlight. It's the first move of a leader who cannot afford to answer. Deflection is not a lie. A lie can be fact-checked. Deflection cannot because nothing was actually claimed. That's what makes it dangerous. That is also what makes it detectable, if you know what to look for. That is the doctrine. Now let me show you the 4 moves. In the 60-minute...
I'm going to stop for a second just because I'd love your comment here, but they already know all the answers and details. Exactly. And Donald told on himself by doing his presser within within 30 minutes or less, maybe, and then doing that interview the next day. Because again, if someone's making an attempt on your life, you're going to be a little rattled, and it's your wife's birthday, so you might wait a couple of days, especially for there to be more information coming to light. But no, when you're a gaslighter, you want to get your narrative out there ASAP and get the deflections, get the distractions out there ASAP, get people to look in different directions.
Interview that aired the night after the White House Correspondents' Dinner, Trump used 4 distinct deflection moves in under 30 seconds. 4 in 30 seconds. That is not someone fumbling under pressure. That is muscle memory. So let me walk you through them. First, the question reversal. Nora O'Donnell asked Trump about the alleged shooter attending a No Kings protest, a reasonable question about political motivation. Trump's response.
If I was a king, I wouldn't be dealing with you.
He did not engage with the question at all. He made the interview itself the burden. The mechanics of the question reversal. The question becomes the offense. The interviewer becomes...
Exactly, Anna Bees, you're right on the money. And they had all their people tweeting, we need a ballroom. I mean, it's obviously a coordinated event of just hitting the megaphone, right? The megaphone, one and the same.
The subject. By the time the audience finishes processing the attack on the journalist, and by extension, every journalist who's ever pressed Trump for an answer, the original question is gone. Poof. You see this move every time the response to a hard question is some version of, how dare you ask me that question? Second, the whataboutism pivot. So same interview with Nora O'Donnell and the manifesto exchange.
Here, let me stop that for a second. Great slip, megaphone. Yeah, it is a good one, isn't it? Thank you. They all had their people tweeting, we need a ballroom. I want to go back to that because, again, they're giving themselves away that this was about getting a ballroom. This wasn't about an emergency, dangerous, catastrophic, potentially catastrophic event. how did he not get shot? What, like the Secret Service doesn't know how to hit a target, but they hit their other Secret Service person?
Trump's response.
Your friends on the other side of the plate are the ones that were involved.
And I love that. Your friends on the other side of the plate were the ones involved. And it just gets worse from there. Here we go.
With, let's say, Epstein or other things.
The mechanics? The question of one leader's behavior gets answered with an accusation about others. The responsibility becomes relative. If everyone is bad, no one has to answer for anything specific. The whataboutism pivot only works when the audience knows slightly less than they actually do. And it only works if no one in the room asks an obvious follow-up, which is what you can do when you are sitting down with one journalist in a 60-minute interview.
And let me apologize for smoothing out my wax. I just know it'll make it easier when I'm talking again. So it'll be so gross.
You see this everywhere. And you've seen this. It's everywhere. You can see it in school board meetings, family arguments, arguments in relationships. Well, you did X. Here's a third one. The frame hijack. Trump again in the same exchange.
You should be ashamed of yourself reading that, because I'm not any of those things.
Mr. President,
and I
these
was
are
never,
Duncan's words.
excuse me. You shouldn't be reading that on 60 Minutes. You're a disgrace.
The mechanics, the conversation.
He's such an old man, always talking down to people like they're children. Scorning, scolding, punishing. So Anna B says, Caroline said shots will be fired. She thought she was so sly, sliding that in there. And she said shots will be fired in the room, which they weren't. Obviously, they were like in another room, but still. And then people are like, oh, no, it's just a figure of speech. You can't like attach anything to that. It's like, yeah, you can. Give me an effing break.
Is no longer about the manifesto. It is now about whether the journalists should have read it at all. New subject, new stakes, new villain. The tell on a frame hijack is bigger moral indignation than the original question warrants. The louder the outrage, the more likely the frame is being hijacked. Here's your fourth one. Compliment shield. Now, this one is more subtle. It travels alone, and it is a move you will see most often in your own life. A few weeks ago, at the beginning of last month in April, when Trump was asked about Attorney General Pam Bondi, the response in a separate statement was, quote, Attorney General Pam Bondi is a wonderful person and she is doing a good job, end quote.
I know. I've noticed that when he says that about somebody, it's like the prelude to them getting fired. They're doing a great job.
No explanation, no commitment. It's a character endorsement, and it's performing loyalty in place of any accountability for Pam Bondi. Now, quick story. When asked about Attorney General Pam Bondi, there was a response that came out in a statement. I saw the statement while I was reading the New York Times while standing in line, or it was standing in the queue at the airport in Dublin, Ireland. Here's the quote.
Hi, I'm Nicole Hockley from Sandy Hook Promise.
Oh, sorry.
I know this is hard to hear.
And did you know that the 3 major airports of Moscow were all closed today? Annabees?
Wonderful person, and she is doing a good job. This is what I wrote on my Instagram post, because I read that and I immediately took a screen grab and I posted it to Instagram. I wrote, she's, quote, a wonderful person, end quote. Translation, start packing. When Trump stops calling people incredible and switches to wonderful, that's a goodbye. And boy, was I right. She was.
Oh, that's
quote,
funny. I didn't catch that. Switches from incredible to wonderful. Is that what she just said? Let me rewind that for a second. And yeah, so you didn't know about the it wasn't because of no fuels, because their skies were filled with Ukrainian drones. I think like 1,000 of them or something. So here, let's play that part again.
Actions, no explanation, no commitment. It's a character endorsement, and it's performing loyalty in place of any accountability for Pam Bondi. Now, quick story. When asked about Attorney General Pam Bondi, there was a response that came out in a statement. I saw the statement while I was reading the New York Times while standing in line or standing in the queue at the airport in Dublin, Ireland. Here's the quote. Attorney General Pam Bondi is a wonderful person, and she is doing a good job. This is what I wrote on my Instagram post, because I read that and I immediately took a screen grab and I posted it to Instagram. I wrote, she's, quote, a wonderful person, end quote. Translation, start packing. When Trump stops calling people incredible and switches to wonderful, that's a goodbye.
So that's so funny. Switches from incredible to wonderful. And man, I've got that little tickle in my nose. I'm trying to look to see if I have a handkerchief, and I do. Let's see. Pardon while I scratch my nose. Coco's on the bed. Coco.
Boy, was I right. She was gone before I even got into the car. That's how reliable the tell is. Now, the compliment shield is the most dangerous of the four, I think, because it sounds like the most reasonable. It sounds kind. It sounds gracious. And it is none of those things. It's evasion, but in a nicer fit. Because one cannot argue with she's wonderful the way you can argue with here's what happened and here's what we're doing and here's where she's going. You can see the compliment shield in your boss, in your in-laws, possibly in your own mouth this week. I'm not above it. None of us are. Here's why the trap can work. I want to tell you why these moves work in real time, even if they fall apart on replay. The research has been there for decades. Daniel Kahneman's work on fast and slow thinking, and I have used this in my work for years because, my goodness, in crisis management, talk about fast thinking, and then you need slow thinking to clear up what your fast thinking mess created. But his work shows that audiences under pressure cannot hold the original question, evaluate the answer, and resist an emotional pivot all at the same time. The pivot exploits the gap. Here's an example. When you're driving down the street in your car and a cat jumps out in front of you, what do? You immediately put on the brakes. You don't even think, oh, there's a cat. I should stop my car. No, it's instinctual. It's fast thinking. Compare that to someone asking you for accountability. Do you emotionally, reactively tap your amygdala to come out with, oh, yes, I have to apologize. I was wrong. I hurt you, and this is how I hurt you, and this is what I'm going to do to repair it. No. That takes slow, methodical thinking. If there's any of that thinking at all, and that's why people hire me. I am hired to get people to that thinking. Next, there's Ziva Kundra's work on motivated reasoning. And the more technical word is partisan asymmetry. It's the audiences who already trust the leader and accept the deflection. Audience who already distrust the leader detect it instantly. Think of MAGA. Think of anyone in MAGA. And then think of anyone with common sense. I'm sorry. I don't want to make this program political at all. But you know what I'm saying. If someone is deep into me.
Oh, an ad.
The bear's claw missed my face by an inch.
I hate the stupid ads. They're so ridiculous.
What Trump does, they're going to buy into it. And if you are someone who cannot stand Donald Trump, you do not trust Donald Trump, no matter what he says, you are instantly going to detect it as wrong and lacking trust. Deflection is not designed to convince the skeptical. It is designed to give the loyal permission Look away. Think about it. Epstein, anything that Trump does, Iran, anything he does, there's going to be loyal MAGA people who will just look away and allow it. Then there are researchers, Peter Bull and Ofer Feldman. They found that experienced politicians use what they call non-replies in 40 to 60% of pointed questions. So audiences detect them less than half the time on the first hearing. So I'm going to say that again. Less than half. Think Pete Hegseth sitting there for hours in the congressional hearing about the Iran war. You heard that the war is a gift to the world and Trump's commitment is ironclad and the Pentagon needs a warrior culture. He called Democrats and some Republicans reckless, feckless, and defeatist. And in some cases, he lumped congressional critics together as a bigger threat than Iran itself. And then when he was going back and forth and volleying these gotcha questions, and then when he was speaking with Representative Ro Khanna, who was simply asking what the war is costing Americans at the pump, fuel charges are rising, Hegseth called it a gotcha question. And then he snaps back that Democrats are already cutting this clip as proof that the administration doesn't care about gas and grocery prices. Deflect, dodge. That gap is where the deflection trap lives. Now here...
But gas came down almost a full penny from yesterday nationwide, Annabise, and Trump was like acting like it was $1. I mean, part of that is just because he's a lying sack of crap. He's dishonest. He's deflecting. And another part is because he doesn't know what a penny does to your pocketbook. Like it does almost nothing. I mean, he was the one who wanted to eliminate pennies. But that's not a thing anymore, is it? That was just another distraction from the Trumpstein files. I hate ads too, and how now they do 2 of them. I thought we didn't care about pennies anymore. Exactly. Isn't that funny?
Is the useful part. Naming the trap is half the work. The other half is what you do when you spot it. 4 audiences, 4 lessons, quick. If you are a leader, the question you most want to redirect is the one you need to answer the most. Audiences forgive imperfect answers, but they do not forgive the feeling that they're being managed. The way out of the trap is the move it is designed to avoid. You name the reality. Address the question that was asked in the words it was asked. Now, if you're a professional, when your CEO answers a different question than the one you were asked, the original question is the answer. Track the gap. Write down the original question. Write down the response. If they do not match, the situation is more serious than the room is acknowledging. And if you're someone who reads the news, train yourself to ask one question of every story. What was the question this article was supposed to answer? If the answer is not in the article, the deflection worked. You can do this reading the news. You can do this watching the news. The week that I'm focusing on in this podcast is an example. A man tried to kill the president, but by the following Tuesday, the dominant news story was a court filing about a ballroom. The original question, what does this attack tell us about the moment we are in, never made it to most of the front pages. And if you experience this in your personal life, it might sound like this. If you asked a partner, why were you so hurtful? And they come back with, why don't I get to share my feeling? That's deflection. A mother who tells you, I know nothing I say is important, when you politely declined her opinion to the story. The original question still stands. A deflection ends conversations. It does not resolve them. And in most good conversations, what do you want? To resolve. Because the unanswered question always returns. Sometimes that night, sometimes years later, but it returns. The anecdote is not confrontation. It's patience. Restate the question calmly without responding to the pivot. Most deflectors will fold within 2 restatements. The move only works if the audience plays along. Now, for the record, cobbler here, no shoes. I have not mastered this. Every trap in my crisis doctrine has a principle that breaks it.
Isn't she great, Anna Bees? Don't you love her? She is mighty sharp, just very well spoken. So just the last 2 minutes?
The deflection trap is broken by ownership. Ownership is not blame. It is the choice to engage the question that was asked, in the words it was asked, without redirecting it to the questioner, the venue, or the different topic. It sounds like this. That's a fair question. Here's what happened. I understand why you're asking. Let me give you the real answer. I'm not going to redirect that. You deserve a direct response. Ownership is rare because it's hard. It is also the single fastest way to begin restoring trust under pressure. It is the move every leader knows they should make, and most leaders cannot bring themselves to make. That is why the ones who can take ownership stand out so much. When trust breaks, deflection prolongs the crisis. Ownership ends it. The trap is everywhere these days, hiding in plain sight, shaping which stories make the front page and which questions never get asked again. A late night talk show host's name shows up in an assassination coverage word cloud. That is not a press failure. That is the trap doing exactly what it was built to do. Now you know what it sounds like. Use that. That was the deflection trap, the fourth trap in the crisis doctrine. The full essay is on Substack, the data, the 4 moves, the research, and the playbook. You can find the link in the show notes. If you found this episode useful, please share it with someone who's been getting deflected on this week. There are no shortage of candidates. I'll see you next week with the next breakdown. Until then, pay attention, ask better questions, and do not let anyone move the spotlight on you. Thanks so much for listening. Bye for now.
Okay, I want to shift gears. We haven't talked about the fake AF self-injurious letter tonight. We spoke about it last night. So I had this thought today. This is what I hate about being gaslit, is it's like, I should have had this thought immediately. Like when I read the part about how they had not authenticated the letter to be Jeffrey Epstein because it's not authentic and they know it. Like, just straight out the gate. It's not authentic and they know it. But looking at it further, breaking it down, it reads like Little T wrote it. It reads like Little T wrote it. Let me see if I can decipher the chicken scratch. Let's see. There's a lot of all caps. There's a lot of exclamation points. There's a lot of nonsense. And I didn't come up with that idea of Dear Donnie being the author. I've heard at least 2 different content creators speaking about that. And one of those is actually that comedian, Sammy Obadiah. So maybe I'll play you a little bit of that. Let's see. Sammy Obadiah. And I wanted to talk about Sandra Birch more too. That's such a sad case that's back in the news. But first, let's go to the this stupid letter. And let's just go to images and then blow it up. They investigated me for a month. Found nothing. 3 exclamation points. But nothing is in all caps. Handwritten in all caps. And found is capitalized. This is him. They investigated me for a month. It's not even a month. It's not even written correctly. They investigated me for a month. Hyphen, capital F, found, all caps, nothing. 3 exclamation points. Next sentence. So 15 or 16-year-old charges. I forget what that word is, and it's so hard to read. So 16-year-olds charges something. I mean, it is the craziest chicken scratch. Okay, next sentence. It is a treat to be able to choose your time to say goodbye, period. It's a very odd sentence. And just the way it jumps. It just jumps. What you want me to do, hyphen, burst out crying, and burst is capitalized and 2 exclamation points. 2 exclamation marks, sorry. And then no fun, all caps, underlined. This is done. All caps, hyphen, and still all caps. Not worth it, 2 exclamation points. It's him. And I did see a handwriting image of Little E's writing next to this, and it is nothing like it. But I mean, I can't imagine that Donnie would have written it with his own hand, but he must have, because nobody else is going to be capitalizing like that and doing the exclamation points. And maybe he thought that by making his own writing really messy, that was his way of disguising his writing, because I think he has good penmanship. Even though his signature looks like a bunch of Ku Klux Klan hats, and I think that's on purpose. I Googled that, and there's some people doing some funny artwork with it. Let's see. And then to think that we're going to have that weird KKK looking signature on money, that would be really, really creepy. You know, the way he's been doing it lately, where there's like a tall, it almost looks like upside down wishbones, like 3 of them, like one at the beginning, one in the middle, and one at the end. But then in the in between is a bunch of like smaller, what look like KKK caps, in my opinion. So here's an image, and it's white, so it's going to be hard to see, but maybe I'll use the image for my thumbnail so that you can see it there, because yeah, you really can't see the KKK guys. So there's 3, the one in the middle, one on either side, but there's no reason for there to be that tall mark when it's the letter P that ends his name. It's very strange. If only I had it on a darker background. And I have my phone set so that There's a dark background. But yeah, when there's an image like that, that's just all so much white, there's so much glare, it's almost impossible to see. Let's see if I do it this way. There, you can see a little bit better. So it's got three men with their little stupid white robes and caps, and then it's a very bizarre evolution of his signature. And why would he be writing it like that? It's mind-boggling. Yeah, I'll use that image for my thumbnail so that you can at least see it there, since I can't really show it to you on my phone. Oh, you can see them. Good. It doesn't look like his handwriting at all. Oh, so you do love her. Let me catch up with all your comments here. I noticed that all the time. I call it BS. Oh, yeah, the thing with the pennies, or I'm not sure what that comment is referring to, because that was what, like 10 minutes ago, 12 minutes ago. I do love her. Very smart. Yes, check her channel out and sub up. I wanted to see how many subs she has. I think she's got a good amount, but she's probably a newer channel, so she's still growing. Molly McPherson. She's got 22,000 subs. Not too shabby. And almost 1,000 videos, almost 900 videos. So good for her. But she only does weekly, so that's why it's only 800 instead of a couple thousand. Anyway, the rest of your comments here. Doesn't look like his handwriting at all. J.E. actually had good handwriting. He did. He had pretty good penmanship. I mean, he was a teacher. You have to have good penmanship to be a teacher. Even though it didn't last because he lied about his credentials. I don't even know if he lied about his credentials or if Donald Barr hired him knowing that he hadn't graduated college and didn't have a teacher's certificate. I don't know if he actually misrepresented or if it was just that it was okay with William Barr's dad when he was the headmaster, but then he was on his way out and then the new headmaster it wasn't okay with. Or he probably was doing some inappropriate things. Like I heard that he was like going to parties that the teenagers were having and drinking alcohol at the parties with the kids. So it could be that that's what got him fired, but they just said, oh, well, he didn't have his credentials. Because I don't know that he lied and said he had them. He might have, but I don't know. Oh, I do exclamation points, LOL. I do too. I do a lot of exclamation points, but especially in texts, it's hard to just use periods and such. It does sound like little T, I know, doesn't it? Interesting. I can see them. I was talking about the deflection, people not answering your question. Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it? And it's so annoying. So there was some other stuff. I was going to talk a little bit about Sandra Birchmore before we wrap up. Her case is so very sad. But before I go on to that, I want to say that if the president were innocent of the accusations that are being made against him with the Trumpstein files, don't you think he would have been able to actually demonstrate with abundance and clarity that he was innocent by now? So they have that exhibit in New York City of the 3 million pages of the files that have been released. That I talked about that, I think, in my video yesterday, that they printed them all out. They have the books bound. They have wall to wall. I think actually each book has 800 pages in it. I thought it was 1,000, but they're really heavy, and there's over 3,000 of these books, and you can actually read them. I think that they have the redactions in them, and it's just stunning. But the man whose brainchild this art project was, it was a collaborative effort, of course. I mean, printing that much and binding that much and carrying, hauling that much, getting the shelves sturdy enough to hold that kind of weight. The guy's name is David Garrett, which I can remember because that's my husband's first and middle name, David Garrett. And it's going to be a traveling exhibit. So I want to see it. I don't know when it's going to be traveling and where it's going to be showing up, but I think that's fascinating, because I was thinking with that amount of weight and mass that there's no way that it would be a traveling exhibit, that the only way you'd be able to see it would be to go to New York City. But it is going to be traveling. That's the plan. Oh, Patricia's here. Woohoo. Hey, Patricia. Sorry, I didn't notice yet. Hi, I just got here. Gonna start from the beginning and put you in my pocket working outside. Oh, you're so cute, Patricia. So, yeah, it's almost 11 o'clock here. So it's only, 8 o'clock for you? So still plenty of brightness. Are you like gardening or just doing yard work, working outside? Oh, I saw that today. Katie Fang did a video on it. Yeah, Katie Fang. I love Katie Fang. And she has been really great focusing on that. And she did an interview with David Garrett. She did an interview with one of the survivors, and they're at the exhibit together. I'm just so glad that so many other people are really focused on the survivors too, because that should be the focus. That absolutely should be front center. And the way our news media, the way the administration are handling themselves, just keeps re-traumatizing all of these victims and survivors that haven't stepped forward yet, that are going to be discouraged to step forward. And I'm sure a lot of them will be feeling even more hopeless about the situation with what has been going on with this administration. But it has actually inspired some people to come out and speak about their trauma for the first time. So that is good. But I would imagine that it can really go both ways, that it can really be like putting salt in an open wound, and that it can just be so infuriating that it can be the straw that breaks the camel's back to get somebody to speak their truth, as difficult as it is. But it's so frightening and threatening. And, putting the survivors' names and addresses and places of employment and not redacting that, and then going whoops and redacting it, but then still like leaving the last name unredacted. And it's obviously intentional. And Katie Fang and one of the survivors were talking about just that, and how the survivor was hoping that it was accidental at first, but when it was like the second and third time with the same documents that they were putting out publicly with private information not redacted, and then pulling it down and redacting but not completely, and putting it back up and then pulling it down again. I mean, it's just like, obviously it's they can claim incompetence. They can say, oh yeah, look, we keep making the same mistake again and again because we're just that stupid. But it's obvious that it's intentional, and that it's threatening, that they're trying to scare victims, and trying to scare the victims that they're releasing, they're doxing their information, but also to scare other victims from stepping forward. Yes, how is, oh, we got From Me to You, Turdo, as well. Sorry I'm tardy. You're right on time, my dear. And let's see if I can scroll back a little bit. I thought I can, but I can't really do it with the mouse because it scrolls too much. Okay. Hello, how are you? Good, how are you? And we wonder why women don't step forward. It's so awful, isn't it? It's lovely to see you. From Me to You, Turdo. Good to hear that. Yeah. And happy Mother's Day to all of everybody that has a mom or is a mom, one or the other or both. It's the day after tomorrow. So I know my husband's working this weekend, and my oldest daughter is going to come visit and spend the night. And so I'll have my daughters, my sons. The one is in DC. We're hopefully going to go visit him at the end of the month. And then the other one is local, but he's usually pretty busy. So I don't know if I'll get to see him for Mother's Day or not. Happy Mother's Day, girls. So yeah, what else? So I wanted to talk about Sandra Birchmore. And should I give a quick description of the case for anybody that's not familiar? I'll go ahead with that. Sandra Birchmore was found deceased in her apartment 5 years ago, winter, like January, February of 2021. She was 23 years old and she was pregnant, and she was this cute, tiny person. I want to say she was like 4'11", I think. I have to look it up. Maybe I'll do that too. But I don't know if it'll have her height online. She's absolutely adorable. But she started volunteering as an explorer with the police department in Massachusetts when she was 12 years old. And yeah, you can see in the pictures how freaking tiny she is. And she didn't grow from the time she was like 12. I mean, everybody like towers over her. And by the time she was 15, she was getting taken advantage of by multiple officers in the police department. A couple of them were even twin brothers. That's Matthew Farwell and I forget his brother's name. The other Farwell, dirtbag. But Matthew Farwell had an ongoing affair with her for 8 years, from the time she was 15 until she was 23. And he was getting married and having 3 kids with his wife during those same 8 years. And then he's been arrested for her homicide. But he was, I want to say he was the first officer on the scene, but he staged it to look like self-injury. And it was only changed. So there was a lot of effery with the police department, with the coroner. There was a ton of corruption. A lot of the people in the Sandra Birchmore case and that police department in Canton, Massachusetts, are some of the same names from the Karen Reed, John. What's the victim's name in the Karen Reed case? Oh, dang it. I always want to remember the victims' names. The officer that was killed, John somebody. Anyway, Sandra Birchmore. I'm going to look her up first. John's last name is Irish with an O, isn't it? Sandra Birchmore. So sad. Does it have her height? I'm going to just ask height. Four feet 10 inches tall. Wow. 4 feet 10 inches tall. That is crazy. I mean, it's adorable. But yeah, it's so rare to see an adult that is under 5 feet. That is wild. And then the man who's in jail, accused of her homicide, it says here that he's 6'4". I thought he was 6'5". But that's just disgusting. It says military records indicate that Matthew Farwell is 6'4". Okay, William Farwell is his brother that also had relations with her. So she was pregnant when she was unalived, and so was Matthew's wife. His wife was pregnant with their 3rd kid. And she kind of blackmailed him and said that if he didn't impregnate her, that she was going to out him. And so she wanted to be a single mom. And what am I trying to look up? The Karen Reed case. Oh, John O'Keefe. Thank you. You got it. So I don't need to look it up. Thanks for saving me that hassle. And happy Mother's Day, girls. Twin brothers, you don't say. Now, where have we heard that before? Anyone? Right. So there's the twins in the boob tube. Nice to see you. In the Kylie Rodney case, the identical twin brothers. Christopher Stanio, and then I think his brother is, I want to say Christopher Stanio. You know, they've been scrubbed off the internet, though. So both in the Kylie Rodney case and in the Trinity Backus case. So Chris Stanio was a deputy for the Nevada County Sheriff's Department, and he was boots on the ground along with Zuck looking for Kylie when she was a missing person. And then his identical twin brother is a California State Highway patrolman. So, let's see. What am I trying to look up? I was going to try to look up Christopher Stanio's brother's name. Christopher Stanio. California State Highway Patrol twin brother. Yeah, it used to be really easy to look them up, but then they scrubbed themselves. And he is Nevada County Deputy. Oh, his name is Matthew too. That's what I thought, but then I thought I was getting my wires crossed. So Sergeant Christopher Stanio and his twin brother Matthew Stanio. And let's see the little pictures. Here you go. That's not that good of a resolution. But yeah, I've got their images in my thumbnails and probably on community posts. So they're identical twins, but one has a beard. And I forget which one is which. I think the one with the beard is the deputy, the sergeant. But I don't know, because, well, I don't know if you can see it on here. Like, you've got the star on his jacket, and then he's got a different type of star on his jacket. One's wearing a black tie, one's wearing a blue tie. Anyway, it don't matter. But yeah, if you've got identical twin corruption in the same area, because there's overlappage with the county sheriff and the state highway patrol basically patrolling the same area there in Nevada County, right outside of Reno. And Reno is bad news when it comes to crime and corruption. There was that really funny TV show, Reno 911. So do identical twins share the same DNA? Do you know? Excuse me, I meant to ask my AI earlier, do identical twins have, I think they do have the same DNA. Well, and because they're saying in Sandra Birchmore's case that the fetus DNA does not match Matthew. They're still saying that Matthew Farwell is the one who ended her life. Okay, they do not have exactly the same DNA. They share the same genetic blueprint. Okay. So, because I was wondering if he could pretend it was his brother that impregnated her, not him. But it says that it is possible, but extremely rare that it is possible. That's wild. Okay. All right. So, was there anything else about the Sandra Birchmore case? So it's going to trial. It's weird that they're saying that it's not Matthew Farwell's baby. I don't believe that. But they're also saying that there were three other, that his DNA was found on her person and found all over the crime scene. But in her private area, his DNA was there. So they had relations that night. But that there was the DNA of three other individuals in her private area too. So, which is entirely possible that she was still getting used and abused by multiple people in the department. And that's just really, really sad. The fact that she started there when she was 12. So even if the abuse didn't start until she was 15, the grooming, I'm sure, started right away. And she was so adorable and so tiny, so vulnerable. And it was a well-known fact that the administration of the police department was fully aware of. So it was a huge effing scandal. And then with her passing away, there was a lot of cooperation to help Matthew, her alleged unaliver, cover it up and try to make it look like it was self-harm. Oh, so that's what I was starting to say, is that it was only a few months ago that they changed on the death certificate self-unaliving, but they changed it to unknown, which is really annoying that they didn't just change it to homicide. So I don't know what the deal is with that. That is a huge disappointment. Let's see. The trial's scheduled for this October. So it was only May 1st of 2026 that the medical examiner amended the death certificate, changing from self to undetermined. Prosecutors allege Farwell, who was one of 3 officers allegedly involved with Birchmore, unalived her after she told him she was pregnant. I don't think it was right after. I mean, he knew, but I think that he just got panicked. He probably, I mean, I'm not blaming the victim at all, but her blackmailing him, I don't think she realized how dangerous that was. That she essentially blackmailed him into impregnating her because he didn't want to, because he already had all of his own kids. And he was probably concerned that she'd be hitting him up for money and just extending the relationship, and that it was something that could really screw up his life and his career. And so I think he changed his mind after she was, I don't know how far along. I want to say like 21 weeks or something like that. But I think she'd gone out and bought a baby car seat that day, like a bucket seat. Those things are pretty expensive. And to buy that when you're only like 4 months pregnant or less is it's a big expenditure. I mean, she, I guess, had financial security with her. She was teaching. So she had gone from working at the police department to being a teacher. I think it was her first year. And teachers don't make very much money, but I think that she, maybe she bought it with a credit card. I don't know. Maybe she tried to get him to pay for it. That would be wild if that was part of it. Anyway, her purchasing that might have just kind of triggered him. Anyway, so yeah, it's the Sawton police officer. So she lived in Canton, Massachusetts, but the police department that also ties in with the John O'Keefe case is both the Canton Police Department and the Stoughton Police Department, Stoughton. The case has drawn significant public attention and protests, with supporters demanding justice for what they claim is systemic corruption and violence against women. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let me read your comments. My eyes get like glued to my phone. It like hypnotizes me when I pull it out. So, Ding, ding, ding. Jazz nailed it. Oh, the thing with the brothers, the Stanio brothers. So I missed a bunch. O'Keefe, right, BoobTube, right in time, Truckee. Hey, BoobTube. Yeah, I saw one of your posts in the last day. It was really good, but remind me, my brain is dead, what the post was. I made a comment on it and said how good it was. Did you see my comment? Happy Mother's Day, ladies. And you're most certainly welcome. Ding, ding, ding. Jazz nailed it. Yes, I knew that. I just forgot. Chris Stanio is Nevada County Sheriff's. Yeah. Yeah. And so he was married to Trinity Backus's mother, Andrea Stanio. And then they got a divorce. And then she had just moved back in with him. He had married somebody else, had kids with somebody else, but he had just gotten a divorce and had his ex-wife, Trinity Backus's mom, move back in with him. I think 2 weeks before Trinity turned up deceased. That case was just as weird as Kylie's. Double despicable deputy doo-doo. Why don't we trust the police again? I know. Off topic, has anyone seen Fred Field? I'm a little worried. I haven't seen him anywhere. He's been in my thoughts and certainly my prayers. I saw him a week or two ago in another chat as Fearless Fred. So his handle was Fearless Fred. And I don't know if I must have been watching it not live, and he was in the live chat, because I would have said hi to him if I was live. And yeah, anyway, so I was happy to see that he was there, because I did email him and I haven't heard back. So I don't know. I hope I didn't upset him or anything. But it was good to see. I'm pretty sure Fearless Fred is Fred Field, that he's got two handles, right? I trust the local boys here. That's it. And it was in a chat of a channel that I know he watched. So, LOLAB, I trust the local boys here. That's it. Yes, there's a few good ones. I trust my local guys, good men. Not all are corrupt. Well, hopefully not the one that I'm married to is corrupt. I mean, I know he's not, but, he has to deal with a lot of terrible stuff in the field, with his peers. A lot of terrible stuff. I mean, with other departments that there's crossover with, and it's bad. I posted up on the Robertson versus Robertson versus Upchurch case that was updated today. I have a hunch it's going to get interesting soon. That's all I'll say at this point. I don't think Ryan is going to settle. I think that those, what is it? The dad and the grandfather, and they're not even blood relatives. It's the mom's dad and the divorced dad, the ex-husband of the grandpa's daughter, that filed the lawsuit. I think it was $1 million lawsuit against Upchurch. And I think they're just after money. And I think that they are expecting that he'll settle out of court and just write them a big fat check. I would love to see it go to trial. Wouldn't that be great if there was all the discovery in the case? Can you imagine? You guys? That could be what we need. And I mean, that's what we were all hoping when they filed the lawsuit, right? That was exactly what we were hoping. So hopefully it won't get settled. Hopefully it won't get dismissed. Hopefully it'll go to trial, and we'll see some facts, some truth, maybe. Because I don't think we've seen any truth in Kylie Rodney's case, like a big goose egg of nothing. No truth. Oh, wow, that sounds interesting. Thanks, BoobTube. Well, your boy has to deal with you if he's naughty. So, yeah, I mean, he's not scared of me, but some of his peers are definitely scared of me. And that was before I had a YouTube channel. I don't like advertise that I have a YouTube channel, but I'm sure they know, and I'm sure they're scared to death. So we're not going to go there. Here's the thing, though. Allegedly, Upchurch may owe a lot in back taxes, so maybe he'll settle. Oh, he owes in back taxes. What? I mean, that could be tricky because, I mean, I think he makes a lot of money with YouTube because he's got millions of followers. And then, of course, he tours, right? He plays live concerts, so he's probably making money with that, I think. Yeah. Wouldn't that be amazing? Amazing if there's discovery in the Kylie Rodney case. That would just be like the break that we need, the break that we've been praying for. That would be wild. What a happy thought, huh? Yup, much is need allegedly owed. Oh boy. Oh no, that sucks. I remember his mom stole a whole bunch of money from him. That sucked. I mean, he's had a lot of people steal from him. So then he wouldn't have the money to pay the taxes. He probably owes because of his mom buying houses, etc. in his name. Yep. Yeah. How terrible to have your own family like stabbing you in the back like that. Absolutely awful. So if he settles, there's no discovery to be done. Nothing will come out. Yeah. But I don't see why owing back taxes would make him want to settle, because the back taxes is something he's going to have to deal with anyway. So I just think he'll play hardball. Plus, I think he really cares about the Kylie Rodney case, and that would just be wild and crazy, because that's been 3 years since that lawsuit was filed. Like it should be going to trial sometime around now. Like that's nuts. Is there a trial date for it? Do you know? Was that in your post? I forget. Let's see. Should I look up your post, or should I look up the see if there's a trial date? I'm gonna look up BoobTube. And view channel. Oh wait, that's not you. It's BT, right? BT TV. It's always hard to find your channel. How do I find it? I could go through my history. There it is. The BT TV. View channel. View post. And last updated yesterday. Or no, it was last updated today. You are on it. And so it was filed July 28th of 2023. And then Okay, so they're ordered to meet before Monday, May 11th to engage in good faith discussions. Okay, so they're basically being ordered for a mediation kind of thing. But they had a hearing on May 11th at 2 p.m. that it was canceled because the plaintiff's motion for leave to present live testimony is denied as moot. So they don't have anything scheduled. They're just being ordered to have a civil conversation of a good faith attempt to settle before Monday. Man, I hope they don't. I hope they don't. But is there any other court dates that you're aware of? I was going to ask the AI. A settlement can be negotiated if he is subject to a civil jury trial. He could owe more. We need to watch for the 11th. Yes, I was updated today, the 8th. So I'm just going to Google if there's a trial date, but I don't know if it'll tell me. Is there a trial date in the Ryan Church Kylie Rodney lawsuit? Yes, a jury trial for the defamation is scheduled for Tuesday at 9 a.m., May 12th. Oh, awesome. I want to go to the trial. Is it in Tennessee or is it in California? I think it's in Tennessee, isn't it? Yeah, it's being held in Nashville on Tuesday. I'm going to Nashville. No, I'm just kidding. I would love to. It's not that far. How far is it? That would be so wild. How far is it? It's 341 miles, 5 hours and 14-minute drive. Wow. I could do it, but I don't think I will. Gas is too expensive right now. I mean, seriously, we're already doing a family road trip to DC at the end of the month with prices of gas. I'm like, damn. It costs $80 to fill up a tank. And that's just on my Subaru. Like, I don't even think I've filled, we have a Honda Pilot now. I don't even think I've filled that tank up because it would cost so much money. I just fill it with like half a tank. Dang. Yeah, $78 to fill my Subaru Outback, you guys. That hurts. Like, I just don't want to drive anywhere. Okay, we got some good comments here. Okay, for now, court is canceled. They need to meet. Oh, they canceled the 12th? They canceled that? When you ask the public for help finding your daughter and then start helping by sharing on the internet and you find out that nothing is making sense and you share this with your viewers. Yeah. Yep. Pull up the link I dropped. Okay, is it back here or down here? Okay. And you have some theories. How is that defamation? Nope. Canceled. Gas is too expensive and we don't want you driving by yourself. Yeah, I mean, 5 hours isn't too far to drive by myself. I mean, DC is like 6 hours, and I kind of feel like that's a little much. I mean, I did a 5-hour trip when my son crashed into that deer in Pennsylvania this last fall. That was a 5-hour trip, and I was fine. And then to go pick him and his girlfriend up because the car was totaled. And then it was a couple years ago that I drove to the campus of Notre Dame, the University of Notre Dame in, is that in Fort Wayne, Indiana? It's in Indiana. Anyway, that was probably almost 5 hours. And I did that by myself. I can't remember now if it's in Fort Wayne or if it's in a different town. Indiana town. Anyway, I want to hit that link. Hold on. I had a stupid thing pop up. Money grab, in my opinion. Hey, Jazz Hannah. Hey, Billy, darling. Let's see what this link is that BoobTube just dropped. Okay, yeah, so that's the thing you posted too. So they canceled. I can't tell that it's been canceled for the 12th. It's just that they're being told to try to mediate before the 12th is what it looks like to me. But maybe I'm not looking at the right place on the docket here. Let's see. I mean, we don't even know about Kylie Rodney's birth certificate. Remember that whole thing with SIFA and the birth? Is it working? Is it working? Are you guys still here? Holy crap. I got back in. Are you there? Oh my goodness, that was wild. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. SIFA. Yeah. So I don't think that I got trolled. I think I did something myself that as soon as I said SIFA, then I lost the live stream. Okay. So where was I? So I'd been there. Money grab, in my opinion. Billy darling. This update I gave. AOC announced her 28 campaign. I just saw that when I was trying to come back onto the live stream. And that is wild. I love that. Is Bernie going to run as her VP? That would be so effing cool. OMG. Seriously, he could do it. I mean, I wouldn't encourage him. I know he doesn't want to run for president. He feels too old, but he's energetic. That would be so cool if he was her VP. I wonder who she'll select. But yeah, I'd vote for that lady. I think she's awesome. SIFA was a plant. Oh my goodness. Do you think SIFA was MC Ultra? Just like another multiple personality or something kind of thing? Weird Truth, MC Ultra gave him the info for the birth certificate. Did she, or was she him? Really, Billy? That's awesome. Because I remember him saying that he had 7 kids. He was in his 30s. He was getting a divorce. That's a lot of kids at that age, and then divorce. Like that's like an unusual combination, especially in California, to have that many kids in California, where it's so expensive to live. Let's see. Video won't load. Saw it on Keith Edwards. I'm getting the Circle of Doom. Let's see. You're good. I hear you. We are talking about a touchy subject. Hey, GF, my darling lady, LOL, you're back. Yay. So it did work. AOC is running in 2028, and maybe Kamala. She admitted it on J Rod's channel last November or December. She gave him the info for the birth certificate. That's crazy. And that whole thing with J Rod, man, that was some wild crap too. And then he and Michelle Lee went all sideways on each other. That was some weird shit. I just ducked out of all that scene, huh? We need them so much. I agree, Jazz. Bernie would be wonderful. I love Bernie. He is the bomb. They're two different people. I know damn well who he is. Oh, well, good to know that. Are you in that area? You don't have to say if you don't want to, but that would make sense because I know MC Ultra was trolling you like crazy. He's in Utah. Oh, Sifa's in Utah. That's too close to me, boob tube. He's an insufferable piece of crap. I hope he sees this. F-A-F-O a-hole. MC Ultra was looking out for targets at the hotel, allegedly. What does that mean, Billy? MC Ultra was looking out for targets at the hotel, allegedly? You mean like trafficking, transporting kind of stuff? I don't know what you mean. Like what hotel? Like that one in Reno? That, what was that? The Grand Sierra or something? Wasn't it you that was making some of those videos, or what channel was that? It wasn't you. It was Seeker of Truth that was making the videos about the Grand. Is it the Grand Sierra Hotel in Reno? I would never live over that way. 7 kids and wants a divorce, bad dad. Yo, I'm in Cali and Utah is too close. Right. And then Tony was in Arizona, and weren't there like 3 girls that were missing within 2 blocks of his residence at the same time as the Kylie Rodney case? And it was MC Ultra that hooked up Scammy with Tony. She thought she was hooking her up with Iqmael, but then it was Tony. That whole thing was so weird. Yeah, I quit trusting Iqmael through all of that too. She said it herself. She handed out Smex pamphlets. Ooh, you mean like with like little catalogs, like with photographs in them or something, or like a business card, or what? She admitted some shite. She privated it all. LOL. Oh yes, I remember that, Billy. For a good time, call this number. Now all MC Ultra little perps are deserted. Well, remember, you had Scammy's parents handling the $34 billion of government contracts for the decade of the 2020s. Could that have tied in with the transporting? I mean, Upchurch is well versed and educated about the transporting stuff, especially being in Tennessee, because Tennessee, like Ohio, is like a heavy duty transporting state. Oh yes, I remember that. For a good time, call this number. Shan has all of it. I quit trusting him too over all of that. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, because he was the one who brought us Xaname. We'll never forgive him for that. Never, ever, ever. So, yeah, and I should wind down, too, because it's almost midnight. I turned into a pumpkin, and we're at almost 2 hours. I love you guys. It's always so fun to hang out. And then I hate hanging up. I hate ending the live when we're all hanging. And then with the weekend and Mother's Day, it might be rough trying to do any lives until like Monday. I hate to admit that, but I'm going to admit it with the holiday or the Mother's Day weekend. I mean, I will try. I will try to go live on Mother's Day, but I don't know that I'll be able to in the evening. You never know. But yeah, might have to skip a couple of days. I hate to do that, especially planning on it. I don't want to plan on missing a couple of days. If I happen to miss a couple of days, that's bad enough. Exactly, Billy. Then add in when the RMs said she gave escort numbers to Airbnb renters and they were on the phone before she could leave the property. Yeah, I remember that. I remember her admitting that. The desert sucks. Why live in Utah? Yuck. Oh, but it's so pretty, like the delicate arches in Moab. But yeah, I don't like the desert. It's too hot. I like lush green. I was saying the other day how in Ohio it's almost like tropical in the summertime. It's very lush. I mean, Ohio is some of the most fertile land, I think. I don't know what kind of like vortex we have here that makes it different than the neighboring states. But, you know, it could be like the glacier history of the Miami Valley or something. I bet that's it, because we do have some of the most fertile soil. We also have some of the worst pollen in the freaking country and probably the world. So if you have allergies, the Miami Valley is the worst place for your allergies, which is unfortunate because my husband has allergies. My kids have allergies. Well, I guess I do too now. I've had bad allergies the last couple of years. I'm just not used to identifying as a person with allergies. I guess I should let the puppy dog in. Wait, let me get caught up. That's right, BoobTube, totally that. She said all that when she was driving around live with Shan, right? I remember that. Allegedly, someone transported girls across state lines. I have emails. That's bad. Was Kylie one of those, BoobTube? Can you say? Yes, yes, and yes. Cinderella, Jazzy, by back roads without cameras, BoobTube. I'm sure. Yuck. She lost her last slipper, but it's all good. OMG, you're so funny, dude. Good night, everyone. Good night, BoobTube. What, dude? Have a wonderful weekend. I'm from the desert. Oh, yeah. I was going to talk about the hantavirus for a moment, but maybe not if people are ready to say goodnight. Oh, let's see. Stay safe and keep keeping on. I wilt in the desert. I know. I always think of that movie Rango. That's such a great movie. And then just getting into the whole thing with the water, the water rights. Like that was the whole thing in the Rango movie, and that was the whole thing in the Kylie Rodney case, as far as I'm concerned. And that's the whole thing in Chinatown, the Jack Nicholson, like 1972 movie, Faye Dunaway. Yup, it's crazy crap, man. It's all about the water. Anna is the best thing about the desert. Missouri has really good soil. Well, and Missouri is also really bad. Minnesota, I think, is really bad for allergies. I'm not sure about Missouri. And Anna says, Billy, I love you. I'm not leaving, just saying bye to Boob Tube. Okay. Chinatown, good film. Let me let Puppy Dog in, who's scratching up a storm. Whoopsie, sorry. Come on in, girls. Come on in. Oh, Coco was hanging out, being all quiet with me, and now she's got to deal with the annoying puppy. Come here, baby. Come here. Who wants to be on the lap? Oh, look at this one. She just hopped right up. She's so bouncy. Oh, she's such a love bug. She's such a love bug. And she's had a bath. Oh, my goodness. Look at her. She's such a little teddy bear. You are the sweetest little cutie pie. Oh, my God. Look at this face, you guys. Oh, look at this girl. No. She's hilarious. She's like a snuffleupagus. She is such a little baby. She's such a little baby with that long hair. Oh, she says it's time to go night. Her hair, did you see that? How it's like standing straight up on her head? She gets the funniest things with her curls. Like she had this one like right down the middle of her forehead the other day. I thought my daughter had like done that to her because the way her hair was, but it just does it itself. She's so adorable. She's such a little nut job. But let me just get a good look at her face whiskers if you can, if she'll let us without knocking over the computer. Because the face whiskers are so funny. Show us your face whiskers, baby. These, see that? It's like walrus mustache. Her ears cover them up though. Let's see. I gotta like pin her ears back so you can see her funny little whiskers. She looks like a doesn't she look like a Dr. Seuss character? She's such a love bug. Oh my goodness. So yeah, on that we can say goodnight. But I was gonna share with you, I watched another Gene Hackman movie today. It was so good. The one with Will Smith, Enemy of the State, I think is what it was. But I fell asleep at the end. I was really tired and it was really long, but it was really good. I highly recommend it. I think it was from like the late 90s, Will Smith and Gene Hackman. And I want to say it had like the all-star cast, like everybody was in that movie. And it was like crazy action. It was all about surveillance, which is very relevant to the rat effing, current events, and maybe why his wife passed away from the hantavirus. I am so like, I don't know if I'm in a rabbit hole with this whole rat fucking crap, but the movie, The Conversation, that Gene Hackman was in 1972, that was kind of, like I've said a couple of times, it was kind of like a prequel to All the President's Men. All the President's Men was the movie where they used the term rat fucking, but it had been a term in our American culture for a few decades already. I think at least since the 50s, maybe even before then. And then I don't remember if it was used in The Conversation in that movie, but The Conversation is like considered a pivotal film. And that's Gene Hackman. And then the Enemy of the State is kind of considered almost like a continuation of The Conversation, even though Enemy of the State is like late 90s and it's not like a sequel to The Conversation. A lot of people see it that way, like they think it's like the same character. But you know, this was made over 25 years ago, and it's talking about surveillance back then, and just think how far along all the technology is now. It's just nuts. But I highly recommend that movie, The Enemy of the State. I think it has a lot of insight into current events, even though it's all, of course, extremely dramatic and action packed and unrealistic, you know, the way movies are. So what a cutie. She does look like a teddy bear. Oh, she is such a love bug. She's so cuddly, but we still have her sleep in her crate because she's a total nut job and she chews stuff up. Like if she finds a pin cushion, she will pull the pins out of the cushion with her little mouth. Like she does some crazy stuff. And so we just worry that she'll, you know, be bad and dangerous if she doesn't sleep in her crate. And I think it's good because she's such a bouncy, full of energy thing. It's probably good to like make her stay calm all night in the crate. You guys, if you Google Sifa, Utah, oh really? What comes up? I could do it real quick now. What? Yes, she does. Arabic first name and Polish last name. I'm so confused. Thanks, internet. I'm gonna Google it. I'm doing it. So, oh, that's a wild last name. It has the LinkedIn. Okay, so I think it's this last name. I don't want to read the last name just because I don't want to dox anybody. But it is wild. I'll just like the first two letters are DZ. Like, is that what you mean by Polish? But yeah, I don't see anything else other than like the human LinkedIn. Human LinkedIn. I'm looking at the word human. I don't see anything else other than the LinkedIn. And I don't think I can look at a LinkedIn account because I'm not on LinkedIn. Oh no, it does let you see it now. It didn't used to. No, it says join to view profile. So it says that Sifa speaks 4 languages: Arabic, Hindi, Spanish, and English. Interesting. Interesting. So is that what you were referring to or something else, my dear? Entertainer. Hey. It fits: Arabic, Hindi, Spanish, English. Is that what it's in the LinkedIn that there's like an entertainer? I'm gonna type in the last name and see what comes up. That is the wildest last name. So anybody who wants to know the last name can just Google Sifa and Salt Lake City, and that LinkedIn account will will show up. But let me see if I Google Sifa with that last name. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything else comes up really. Still just the LinkedIn. Maybe a Facebook thing. But no, that looks like somebody else. But I don't even know what Sifa looks like. So exactly this. All the languages, like, are you... Does that have anything to do with transporting, Billy? Like Arabic, Hindi, Spanish, English? I don't know. I'm intrigued. I was going to say good night, but now I'm so intrigued. How convenient. All of the psyops with the KR case. So he was hired for entertainment purposes. Oh, you guys, you're yanking my chain. You're pushing my buttons. You've got me all intrigued. What? He does makeup as cosmetologist. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's cool, right? Is there something more to that, like with the transporting, with the hotel stuff? Well, I wonder if anything's going to happen with Upchurch and the case. I think it's the same person because Sifa Online would say makeup stuff, etc. But I don't know. So allegedly, yeah. Mookie, come here, baby. Come here, Mookie. Come here. Come here, girl. Come on, Mook. Aw. Mookie and Chi-Chi are snuggling. They've been snuggling a lot lately. Come here, Mookie. Come here, baby. Come here, Mookie. Come. She's like, no, I'm all snuggled over here with my friend. But Cheeseball's back. Cheeseball's back. Agga bugga bugga. Here, let's hold her like a little baby. Oh, she loves getting her belly rubbed. Oh, she's so silly. She's so silly. Mwah. She is a cuddler. She's super cuddly. But it's so cute because Mookie and her weren't really cuddle friends, but all of a sudden they're like cuddle friends. Look at her silliness. Like it's hard to see her underneath all that fur, isn't it? Yes, you're beautiful, baby. You're beautiful. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are so funny. She's such a little bug. So yeah, good thing to end with puppy love, huh? Public information is public. He was probably just hired to muddy the waters. Aw, puppy. The entire case is sus AF. Exactly, Billy. I'm with you on that. Let me highlight that. The entire case is a freaking psyop. My belief is that she got taken to like the the what is that place called over there? My brain is totally not working. The placey place. How come my brain won't work? The Bohemian Grove. Because I'm thinking like boho chic, Bohemian Grove. Okay. I think she was taken to a place like Bohemian Grove. That's what I think. I think she was transported. That's what I think. And if you want to own somebody, you fake their passing away so that nobody looks for them ever. Like that might be what they did with little E. Like he might be over there in Tel Aviv. I know some people in the chat might believe that. But that damn self-unaliving note is not a self-unaliving note. It's like a Truth Social post. Salt Lake City, the birthplace of Scientology. Oh, is it? It's also like massive with the transporting. Pretty sure. The sanctuary. Yeah, I know. The sanctuary. That was always so creepy. So creepy. The Kylie party. Also creepy. Yes, I believe that. Yeah. Well, and then with the Idaho 4 case and that whole thing with Kopaka, Brent Kopaka, who had that SWAT team incident like a month to the day after the Idaho 4 slaughter. And then on his Facebook profile, he had the coordinates of Bohemian Grove. What? That whole Idaho 4 is a huge psyop, in my opinion. I get so sick of that case. So sick of that case. I mean, I'd been over it for a long time, and it just keeps going on and on and on. Like I don't watch this crap, but I see it online. And I'm just like, OMG, like give it up already. Let it go. But I don't know. I mean, I can't let the Kylie Rodney case go, so I guess I can't criticize people that can't let that case go. I just think that case is like Kylie Rodney's case. I don't think anything about it is true and accurate. I think it's all a bunch of crap. All of the people involved in the case are sus AF to me. I know, like even Mags. I mean, she was totally having a nervous breakdown, and remember she had like the massive breakout with like all those black scabs on her face. Like she was losing it. She was losing her grip. Oopsie, birthplace is Phoenix, LOL. Well, Kylie's birthplace was like Montana, wasn't it? You're kidding me, Billy. Dude, I wish. Oh, wait, I hear I missed a couple of comments. Yes. And selling and transporting rugs too. Right. And especially with the Idaho 4, with the rugs. Totally. But I mean, there was a lot of that going on with the Nevada County Sheriff's Department. I don't know how much Kylie's case had to do with rugs, but I was thinking about it the other day, you guys, and I want to talk about it. I would love to get your input. Like, what are your thoughts now on that incident when Scammy was about to talk at the mic in the gym with all the community there, and Lindsay came up to her and whispered in her ear and was like making out with her practically. And then Scammy was like all flustered and she could barely talk, the woman who can't shut up. I was thinking about that again recently. Like, what was that? What was that about? Like, what did Lindsay whisper in her ear right before she was going to speak? And then it was like it took the wind out of her sails. And I don't think she forgot what she was going to say. I think she decided not to say what she was going to say. And so she couldn't like pull new concepts out of her rear end on the spot, even though usually that's like her forte. Like, she's a real good bullshitter, right? Salt Lake City must be that other cult, LDS. Yes, both are the same. And so you guys know that channel, Life Take Two. She made a video in the last day or two, I think, about TPUSA being Mormon. I haven't had a chance to watch it. I like her stuff a lot. I think she's really good, and I've been watching some of her stuff lately. But she was born and raised in the Mormon church, so she knows her stuff. And she was like all MAGA, and then she's like done a 180. And so she's online telling us from the inside track what she knows. Utah dangerous for hikers and van lifers. Oh, you mean like Gabby Petito? Remember, she was in Salt Lake City in that hotel by herself for 6 days when Brian Laundrie allegedly flew back to Florida to empty out a storage unit. Huh? And yeah, I think the cops, when they got their eyes on Gabby on August 12th, I don't trust them. And they were like, yeah, we're going to take the boyfriend away, put him in a hotel to sleep overnight. And you, young lady, you should go sleep out in the wilderness by yourself in that white van of yours. The cops, that was what they thought was a good idea. That's ridiculous. I still think she was threatening her. Okay, yeah, Annabise, which would make sense why she then didn't know what to say. So was she threatening her like, you better not tell anybody the secret that we share? You better not reveal anything about what really happened or is happening? Let's see. I am getting tired. I am turning into a pumpkin. And I don't want to yawn on screen. But, sorry, I have to. Okay, let's see. We ladies can't go outside for F's sake without some cult, for goodness sakes. Right, Billy? TPUSA is not real. But remember, is that why CK had to go? Because he was not down with Israel, and he was not willing to take the $150 million to say whatever they wanted him to say. And then Bibi had to get on social media like 8 times and say he had nothing to do with CK's alleged assassination. Ridiculous. Yes, I saw the title. I told you that Erica acted Mormon. Yeah. Procyon. Procyon. Yeah. Right. Okay. Same thing, Billy. OMG, Erica is crazy in my opinion. I think she's drunk all the time. I honestly think she is loaded. There was like one of her events in particular where she was on the stage talking to the kids and seemed hammered. But speaking of which, remember when our president had those kids in the Oval Office a couple of days ago and was like talking all crazy to them about stupid stuff that they would have no interest in? That was nuts. That was so bizarre. Gabby was barely 100 pounds soaking wet, and those cops sent her away. What the F? And she was so pretty. She was tall too. I want to say she was like 5'7". And yeah, she was super skinny and gorgeous and vulnerable, having a fight with her boyfriend and being all upset like that. One day, Scammy, I will come for you, Billy. You go, girl. Yes, it was sus that they sent her out alone in the van. Okay, so have you guys heard with the Nancy Guthrie case that now they're saying that the kidnapper is deceased, but they still can't say who it is? Like, have you guys caught that crap? I haven't watched any of those videos, but I've seen those going across the screen too. And I'm just like, this reminds me of the Adam guy who allegedly unalived Crystal and Kylan in the Gabby Petito case. But then by the time they figured it out, he already unalived himself. Convenient AF. And then just the whole thing with Brian Laundrie not unaliving self. I mean, that could not have been a more obvious faked situation, in my opinion. We can't trust the police, especially the Moab police. And every police officer that was there, you know, Gabby's family filed a $50 million lawsuit against the department. And I think it was dismissed. But all of those officers have been promoted, which is really disgusting. They should all be fired, in my opinion. Or at least trained more better. Come on. The very least. What Billy said, that's what Lindsay said. What Billy said, that's what Lindsay said. Now I'm all confused. I think that I'm getting really tired. Oh my goodness, 2.5 hours. Okay. I'll never be able to proof the video. It's too long. It's like too long didn't read, too long didn't watch. No, I'm just kidding. I hope that's what she said. LOL. Me too, Billy. No, I haven't seen anything about Nancy's case lately. So yeah, that's what like Brian Enton was saying that. News Nation was saying that. I don't know who else was saying that. But it's just like, how would you know that the abductor was deceased if you can't say who the abductor was? And why can't you say who the abductor is if they're deceased? To me, it's just very convenient. And you know my theory on it. I still think that it was revenge from the guy who hates reporters, especially Savannah Guthrie. He'd had beef with her just like he had beef with Nora O'Donnell a couple of weeks ago. My poor cat is crying all because mommy is on the machine and she wants to play catch. Oh, that's so cute, Billy. I had an Abyssinian who would play fetch. Play catch. That's adorable. Where is Nancy? I know. Poor kitty. My cat is a ham. LOL. I'm in agreement with you, Jazz. He is horrible. So you think it was him too? I think the fact that he said nothing about this 84-year-old woman missing, said nothing about it for like a week. Then he said that weird stuff on the airplane where he was like, oh, yeah, we got a lot going on. You'll be impressed. We got a solution. And then I don't think he's said a word about it since then. And then it just makes the brain split wide open. All right, should we sign off? Let's say something positive before we do. Where's the cute puppies? Come here, Mookie. Oh my goodness, Mookie and the fur ball are like laying like this. Come here, Mookie. Mookie will not get up when she's all comfortable like that because her hair's so short and it's a little chilly. Come here, baby. I'm going to just get you. You're my baby. You are my little baby. People need to see you. They have not seen you in way too long. And I am wearing shorts again, so sorry if you saw some skin. There's the baby. And then we got the other one right here. She'll probably just jump right up. Oh, the other day I was eating some chicken. And, I don't eat solid food that often because of the damn braces. I'm just like doing soup and smoothies and all. But I took the wax out, I cut up the chicken really small, and I was just trying to have a good, solid protein meal with veggies, with green beans. My husband makes the best fresh green beans. I hate green beans, except I love his. Anyway, feta cheese, it was delicious. And thank goodness I was almost done. The little cheese ball was like up behind me. And she literally like jumped onto my plate and the food went everywhere. Luckily, I'd eaten most of it. It was a big plate of food though, and there was still a lot left and it was a mess. And I was just like, OMG, too funny. She literally jumped into my plate. Good night, everyone. Sleep well. She's so cute too. And a little heart on the forehead. Happy Mother's Day. And thanks for hanging out, ladies. We will see you on the next one. Drink your water, eat your protein and your veggies. Our two kitties do stuff like that. And now Mookie's growling because Cheese Ball is bugging her. All right, I am signing off. That was cool, though, that I was able to come back to the live when it got interrupted. Thanks for staying through that, you guys. Have a good night. Happy weekend.